You're watching Mugen TV RPG Haven. Experience a fantasy like no other.
Hey guys, it's MugenLord here, and I'm back again with another video. And before we dive into today's topic, I just want to let you guys know, check out my previous video where I talk about Trials of Mana Remake, and in my opinion, why I think Trials of Mana Remake was a remake done right in terms of JRPGs. So if you're interested and want to know my thoughts and opinions about the game and why I love it so much, definitely go check it out. And if you're also looking to get into the Mana series, definitely look into that video. So let us dive into today's topic. Today I want to talk about Final Fantasy VII, because if you guys don't know, it was the Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary. That's right, it's been 25 years since the game has released, and how it just changed the genre altogether. It just changed gaming and gaming history, and it just left such an impact on the industry. And I remember when the game first launched, and I was in 4th grade when the game launched, and I've been a fan of Final Fantasy ever since, and it's been 25 years. It's just wow, I just feel old at this point. So I always wanted to talk about what was shown during the live stream of the anniversary, and I also want to talk about when can we expect some Final Fantasy Remake Part 2 news, or if we're going to get any details at all this year. So strap up and let us dive right into it. We're going to head into what was shown during the live stream. Now, during the live stream, it was essentially Square Enix wanted to focus on their Battle Royale mobile game called Final Fantasy VII First Soldier. Well, in this live stream, they wanted to reveal Season 2 and what to expect when it comes to content. And it looks like that they revealed that Bahamut is also going to be a new summon added to the game, and also a boss that will be able to encounter during your time on the battlefield when you're playing with your team. And so I thought that was a pretty cool addition. I mean, Bahamut is pretty much iconic summon, so it only makes sense. And plus, he's the Final Fantasy VII Remake rendition of Bahamut, so which I also thought was pretty cool. Now, another thing that really got me and really taking me aback about this reveal is that they introduced the Dragoon class, a class that was essentially in Final Fantasy VII, but class system wasn't really a big thing in Final Fantasy. But Sid, he was pretty much a Dragoon in a way. Well, they actually have a Dragoon class, because in this Battle Royale, which I love so much about Final Fantasy, whenever they cross over to a different genre, that class system, which I mentioned before with Final Fantasy Origins, with the Dark Souls take on Final Fantasy, this is the same treatment as well. This is the Battle Royale treatment, but with Final Fantasy being blended together. And that class system adds a bunch of variety. And this is the first time we actually see a Dragoon class implemented into this game for Final Fantasy VII First Soldier, which I think is pretty cool. You know, it looks more military, like a padded armor, but it still kept the essence of the Dragoon class that you've seen in Final Fantasy IV with our boy Kain. I think this is just pretty dope. And it also had me just wondering, will we actually see some Dragoon soldiers within the game of Final Fantasy VII Remake moving forward? I think that'd be pretty cool, because this is a prequel. This is 30 years before the actual events of Final Fantasy VII, and just Final Fantasy VII Remake in general. So also we introduced the new weapons, which is newer weapons in my opinion that I've never seen before. That's being added into the Final Fantasy VII universe, which I think is pretty cool. And like I just said about the class, Dragoon class, I wonder if these weapons are also going to be later revealed or added somewhere in the game moving forward with the universe of Final Fantasy VII Remake. So these are just interesting elements that I'm definitely looking forward to. So not only that, during the live stream, they also revealed that they will be adding some story elements to the game to expand the Final Fantasy VII universe even farther, because when the game was first announced, they just said it was just going to be a Battle Royale. It wasn't going to be story heavy, story centric, so you weren't really going to get a lot out of it, but there was like little, I guess you could say, Easter eggs or little bit of elements just scattered within the game itself. So, you know, Final Fantasy VII fans and just, I guess you say, theorists can get together and just piece together what they believe the origin is of the First Soldier. But it looks like that this time around they're actually going to give us some story bits for us to be able to dissect and just speculate from there, and how it may impact Final Fantasy VII Remake moving forward. So I just think that that's interesting altogether. Now the thing is, when it came to this live stream, many Final Fantasy content creators that I follow, a lot of them had pretty much stayed up overnight at around like midnight, like because the stream was only live in Japan, which means that our time zones are pretty different, and it was going to start at 5 a.m. or I believe it's going to end at 5 a.m. I could be wrong, but it was a lot of content creators that really stayed up for it. Me, in my opinion, I was like, you know what, I'm not going to stay up for this, because so many people were expecting that for them to reveal other things outside of First Soldier when they specifically said that it was going to be a First Soldier live stream. And as I predicted, when I woke up, it was, I woke up in the morning, the stream was still on. It was around like 6:30 because I had to take my daughter to school, and I checked up on the stream and it was just only First Soldier information. So a lot of people were really upset about that, and a lot of people just had issues with why they didn't really announce anything outside of that. But we want to get into that even farther because some other news was just revealed afterwards. So as far as First Soldier is concerned, what's my opinions on it? Well, I actually heard that the game was actually pretty good. There's a lot of people that actually really enjoy the game. Now, the only issue is that the game is only for mobile devices, so it's very, very popular in Japan. The thing is, it does have a global release, so you can download it on your Android phones as well and actually give it a try. Now, the problem with a lot of US players are having is that they have a hard time finding players. They more so be fighting a lot of bots, and I think the more so that issue comes from that a lot of people don't game on mobile devices, especially here in the United States compared to Japan. So it's kind of a bummer that they didn't release this on console. They should have released it on the console. I don't know why Battle Royale really does well on the console platform. For them to not put it on consoles really boggles my mind, especially, like I said, it's a different pace compared to other Battle Royale games, and like I said, it offers something different, and I really wanted to try that out, especially like I said before, the selling point to me is the class system. Now, people could say, yeah, you could try it out if you use a controller, and if you use different capture devices to be able to capture the gameplay and to put it up on YouTube and everything. But after seeing how you have to set everything up, it's just not worth it. And some people are even having issues of trying to actually capture the gameplay to be able to show it on YouTube or any other social media platform. So it's just kind of a bummer, man. Like, I don't know why they did that. And another question I have too, after this live stream, is what happened to Ever Crisis? We never really got any new information or gameplay footage in general when it comes to Ever Crisis. A lot of people are curious about it. From what I've seen of Ever Crisis, it does take the original game and give us that original story, but it expands it to the other parts of the compilation, which I really do hate. But after finding out that it's also going to have a gacha system, but I mean, I'm supposed to expect? I mean, it's a mobile game, so I would expect them to have some type of mobile type of game features or gimmicks added to it. So that kind of destroyed my hype for it, or my enthusiasm and wanted to go look farther into it. But I'd still want to cover it because I know a lot of you guys are definitely curious of how they're going to handle the other games within the compilation. More specifically, Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. That was never a game, that was actually a feature film, but it's actually going to be a game this time. So people are curious of how they're going to deal with that. But now let's go to the topic that I know most of you came to this video for. What about Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2? Now, within the live stream, they mentioned nothing about it at all, which most people came to the stream to find out whether or not we're going to get a new reveal concerning Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, and people were left disappointed because it was just a First Soldier live stream. Now, can we expect any news this year? I mean, the game has been released back in 2020, and we about to come up to the 2-year anniversary for Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1. So it's been 2 years, and I would say, in my opinion, yes, we should be expecting some news regarding Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. Now, if you guys don't know, they've been working on Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 right after they finished Part 1. They took no time. They dived right into it. And not just that, Kitase and Nomura said they already have the assets and resources already completed because of what they've done with Part 1. So development can be able to ramp up much faster than what they had to go through with Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1. So you also got to remember that it's also an anniversary, and what they do with a lot of game developers, specifically more so Japanese game developers, when they do anniversary with their specific titles, normally their anniversary for those titles lasts for the entire year, which means you will start seeing news and updates for that particular title that, whatever anniversary is for. And it's no different than what Nintendo has done with the anniversary of Legend of Zelda, Mario. You had the year of Luigi. I believe Sega did something with Sonic as well when it comes to their franchises. So I would expect them to do the same thing. And lo and behold, guess what? That's exactly what it is. There's a confirmation in an article from Polygon that mentioned that Kitase and Nomura themselves had also said to expect some Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 news. So here's a quote that stated that Kitase said, "We just started the 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy VII, so we want to celebrate and get fans excited. So within the next 12 months, we want to share some information. Look forward for more information." And that's what VGC and also Push Dustin has posted as well. So we can definitely expect some Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 news. So I'm more so thinking that we'll probably get some gameplay footage, maybe some screenshots. We'll definitely start getting some droplets of information, which a lot of content creators, such as myself, is going to eat all that up and be able to share it with you guys. So where can we expect this? Where can we expect some information for the game? Now, in my opinion, there could possibly be really soon. And what I mean by that is Sony did previously or just recently announce the State of Play, which is pretty much a Nintendo Direct version for Sony. A State of Play is coming pretty soon. I believe it's going to be right around the corner. I believe it's actually this month. Actually, I can't remember if they had a date or anything specific towards that is concerned, but we could possibly get a reveal for Final Fantasy VII Remake 2. Now, I'm telling you as a content creator, don't take my word for it. I'm just giving you my opinion about it. So temper your expectations. So don't go into the presentation expecting Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. This is just me speculating. So I just want to let you guys know. I just want to make that clear. It could be a possible reveal, but who knows? And then we have other events coming up. We have the Tokyo Game Show. We do have more than one State of Play coming this year. So anything regarding that, or they could just shadow drop a trailer. We just have to wait and see. And as far as E3 is concerned, I'm not sure. It looks as though that E3 may be canceled yet again this year. So we may not be getting anything from E3, or we may have an E3 replacement. So we just have to wait and see. But in my opinion, I really, truly believe that we'll definitely be getting something really soon. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. So I definitely want to hear your thoughts, because that pretty much wraps up this video, my thoughts and everything as far as the 25th anniversary. We have a whole year ahead of us as far as Final Fantasy VII is concerned. So we'll definitely be getting a lot of news. Hopefully, there's also been talks of a Final Fantasy VII Netflix anime. We just have to wait and see. It fits within the Final Fantasy VII Remake universe. But I definitely want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about the anniversary? What are you looking forward to when it comes to Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2? Have you ever played Final Fantasy VII First Soldier, the Battle Royale game? And as far as Ever Crisis is concerned, I definitely want to hear your thoughts on that. Are you curious of how they're going to approach each of these titles within the compilation? So leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you like the video, hit like. Also hit subscribe if you like the content that you see here. And if you want to stay up to date with anything Final Fantasy related, hit that bell to be notified. This is MugenLord signing off. I'll see you Game Fiends later. Peace out.